Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's explainer. We are about to embark on a journey of, frankly, extreme contrasts. I'm talking about an absolute masterclass in human resilience. Today, we're looking directly into the mind of a billionaire to unpack the sheer unstoppable willpower behind the Elon Musk success story. Seriously, if you've ever felt totally overwhelmed by the odds stacked against you, you are definitely going to want to hear this.
It all starts with a question that, on paper, seems completely impossible. How does a broke, severely bullied kid become literally the richest man on Earth? I mean, really think about the gravity of that gap for a second. We aren't just talking about someone who started out with a small loan and built a pretty good business, right? No, we are talking about an origin story defined by absolute zero. Zero financial backing, zero social power, and growing up in an environment characterized by intense hostility. It's the kind of starting point that usually dictates a very, very different kind of ending. And honestly, that is exactly why this narrative has so much incredible momentum.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how staggering the gap between those two realities really is. On one extreme end, you've got these intense childhood struggles and the profound, lingering pain of being mercilessly bullied. I mean, these are the kinds of traumas that would completely derail almost anyone. Yet on the totally opposite end, the richest men on Earth. The juxtaposition is just wild. It really makes you wonder, how do you cross that massive chasm? How do you take the raw, super painful material of a broken beginning and somehow forge it into this unparalleled, world-altering triumph? Well, to really understand that transformation, we have to look closely at the space between those two extremes. We have to talk about what it actually means to navigate the abyss. Because let's be real, his journey to billionaire status was absolutely not a straight, smooth, upward line. Not even close. It required confronting periods of absolute pitch-black darkness, where the pressure was so immense and the setbacks were so severe that giving up didn't just look like an option. It honestly looked like the only rational choice left on the table. So let's break down exactly what that abyss looked like. Because it wasn't just that foundational childhood trauma, as heavy as that is. As he stepped into the business world, he faced these absolutely crushing financial crises. Just imagine the brutal reality of 2008, when both Tesla and SpaceX were literally days away from total bankruptcy. Picture yourself pouring every single ounce of your soul, and quite literally every last cent you have, into a massive vision, only to stare right down the barrel of total financial ruin. Add to that the psychological toll of massive, highly public failures, like watching your life's work literally explode on a launch pad for the whole world to see. Man, it's a weight very few minds can withstand without totally breaking. Let's move to Capuanti and see how this built. Because the crazy part is, he didn't break. In fact, his progression became relentless. He didn't just enter these industries. He disrupted them entirely from the ground up. First, he totally overhauled the global payment system with PayPal. Then, he took on the deeply entrenched automotive industry with Tesla. And finally, he looked up to the stars to completely upend aerospace with SpaceX. The sheer, mind-boggling scale of these back-to-back achievements is the direct result of a drive that was forged in those earlier, incredibly intense fires. Which, brings us to the absolute core of this journey. Because beyond the history and all the flashy headlines, we really need to look at the internal mechanics at play here. We're talking about unlocking the billionaire mindset. Because the true value of this explainer, of this whole story, isn't just sitting back and marveling at what one person did. It's about extracting that exact mental architecture so that you can apply this incredibly powerful way of thinking to your own challenges. Now, what's really interesting about this is how that incredibly complex psychology actually distills down into 3 clear, actionable steps. Step 1. Face your struggles head on. There's no hiding, no avoidance. You have to look the crises straight in the eye. Step 2. Accept repeated failures as lessons. And guys, this one is absolutely critical. A failure isn't the end of the road, right? It's just harsh, vital data on how to do it better the very next time. And step 3, the absolute anchor of it all, never give up on your dreams. Actually executing that when literally everything around you is falling apart, well, that is the ultimate separator between the ordinary and the extraordinary. When you trace the line all the way back, from the rockets and the electric cars, past the financial ruins and past the bullies on the playground, you find one irreducible element, and that is a total, stubborn refusal to quit. The poverty and the pain didn't destroy him. Instead, they became the exact fuel source for an absolute, unwavering refusal to surrender to his circumstances. It's just phenomenal. So the crucial point is this. The defining thesis of this entire journey is surprisingly simple. It is the ultimate motivation to never give up on your dreams. The unimaginable wealth, the towering rockets, the electric cars revolutionizing the roads, those are actually all just byproducts. The core product here is resilience.
It's an ironclad, non-negotiable commitment to the vision, no matter how dark or scary the abyss gets.
And that leaves us with the only question that truly matters today. We've seen what is incredibly possible, but now the lens turns directly to you. When you are faced with your own repeated failures, and let's be honest, they will come. When you hit your own crushing crises in life, what is your next move? Will you give up, or will you rise to glory? Take that thought with you today.